Welcome back. I'm here with Football League editor Pascal Lemaire to talk about Saturday's championship match between Nottingham Forest and Middlesbrough. Start with the home side, Pascal. Disappointing start to the season, but back-to-back wins now.
Yeah, and really impressive wins as well. After the international break, going to QPR, who had won 3 in a row going into that game, and they pick up a 2-1 win at Loftus Road. Very, very impressive. First half, there wasn't much in the game, to be honest. Eric Lehigh had the one chance, which they probably could have scored, hit it straight at green. But then in the second half, Forest kept playing well. They conceded the goal to Charlie Austin. Doris de Vries really should have saved it. It was a poor goalkeeping error. And then they get a chance to get back in the game when Rob Green takes a dodgy touch. Chris O'Grady nips in, puts the ball away, gets brought down, and they get a penalty and Rob Green gets sent off. So it's a big turning point in the game there. Lansbury sticks away the penalty. A few minutes later, Nelson Oliveira, he came on and scored on his debut. Good little finish from him. And all the debutants in that game really impressed. O'Grady worked very hard. Ryan Mendes did really well down the wing. He won't be as good as Michael Antonio. He's not going to replicate his goals or assists, but he looked like a good enough replacement considering they haven't been able to sign players for a fee. He's coming on loan from Lille. He looks like a good signing, and Oliveira obviously came off the bench and scored in that game as well. So, those new signings look good, and then they go to Birmingham in midweek, who were unbeaten going into that game, and they edged them out 1-0. They defended really well in that game. I think Birmingham only had 6 shots. They managed just 1 shot on target. Dexter Blackstock settled it with his goal, and so it's a really impressive, different style of win. Against QPR, they dominated a side who had won 3 in a row again, and then against Birmingham, they just dug it out, got the goal, and then held on for the 1-0 win. So a really impressive couple of wins for a side who had started the season very slowly.
All positive for Forest then. Same for Borough now. 4 wins in a row in all competitions, up to second in the championship.
Yeah, they're showing the sort of form that meant they were one of the early season promotion favourites, and they have looked pretty good recently. Some of the fixtures you say they haven't had the toughest opposition. Their last 2 wins, both at home against MK Dons and Brentford. The 2 bottom half sides. So it's hardly the most. They're not the best wins because they're not coming against sides in and around them at the top. But it's still convincing wins. They've got the best defence again this year. They had by far the best defence last year. This year, they've only conceded 4 goals in 7 games. That's where they're strongest, and they're also scoring goals. 5 goals in 2 games. At the weekend, Nugent and Downing getting their first goals of the season, and then last night, Stuani getting his goals as well. He's scored, I think, 7 goals now, and most of them have come in the cup, to be fair. But he's looking like a good signing, and they're scoring goals and they're defending as well. That's the thing. They've got the best defence, but they've also got the joint best attack, 12 goals alongside Ipswich. So they are looking good. They're 5 points behind Brighton, who are looking great at the moment. But Borough, you'd probably say Brighton, they won't be able to keep this pace up, but you'd expect Borough to maybe sort of push. And at the moment, they do look favourites to go up Borough.
2 teams in decent form over the last week or so. What's your score prediction?
I think it's a really tough game to score because, like I said, Forest, those 2 wins they've had have been really, really impressive, and Borough maybe haven't faced the toughest opposition in their last 2 since the national break. So I'm going to go for a draw here. I'm going to say 1-1.
Sportsmore going for a 1-1 draw.